China's geography defines the strategic priorities for the country's leadership. Although China is the second largest country by land area in the world and dominates the East Asian continent, it is in many respects isolated. The center of China's population is the coastal plains and the central and southern lowlands. Approximately one-third of China's population lives on the coast, and another two-thirds inhabit the fertile interior regions watered by the Yangtze and Yellow rivers. Western and northwestern China, while comprising almost 50% of the country, hold only 6% of the population. This core China is largely shielded from the rest of Asia by hostile terrain, long distances, and lack of infrastructure. These obstacles restrict the large-scale movement of goods and people, though they do not prohibit them altogether. From north to south, China is hemmed in by the boreal forests or taiga of eastern Siberia, the arid steppe of the Gobi and the Taklamakan deserts to the northwest and west, the Tian Shan, Pamir, and Himalayan mountain ranges, the mountains and subtropical jungle that extend from Yunnan province through northern Vietnam. Coupled with a large population and army, these geographic barriers make core China secure from most external land threats. Conversely, China is vulnerable and dependent on the sea. The country is highly dependent on oil imports for her growing industrial and transportation needs. More than 40% of China's petroleum is imported and shipped by tanker from the Middle East or West Africa. Trade routes to and from Europe also lead through the Indian Ocean. Approximately 99% of the crude oil and LNG shipped to East Asia passes through the Strait of Malacca, one of the world's busiest choke points. Alternatives include the Sunda Strait, Lombok Strait, and Torres Strait, but these add hundreds of miles to shippers' routes. Most southern routes then have to transit the Balabec Straits to reach the South China Sea. China's economy is highly dependent on imports and exports. To reach the Pacific from major Chinese ports, ships must pass through either the Luzon Strait, the Okinawa Strait, or the Tsushima Strait. The existence of these choke points and China's dependence on shipping provides Beijing with its primary strategic challenge. All of these vital choke points either border key U.S. allies or are near important U.S. naval and air bases, U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, the air and naval installations at Diego Garcia, the new Marine Corps base in Darwin, the U.S. naval base in Guam, air and naval installations in Okinawa, Yokohama, and Qinghai. The United States also has friendly relations with the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, and India. Beijing views itself as being hemmed in by the United States Navy. Although the United States has no formal policy of containing China, it is easy to see why China's leaders view developing a blue water navy as the country's top priority. Until the People's Liberation Army Navy can protect China's sea lines of communications, the country remains vulnerable to the United States in the event of a conflict.